Well, that was a little bit laggy, but anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is your host, Sam Capizzi, here at Crypto Somniac, here to bring you everything crypto related, where the rich never sleep. Today, I wanted to bring you just a market update and talk a little bit about what I think and what's going on, and I'll answer some of your guys' questions. So feel free to leave them in the comments below. We're also going to give away some free Moon Lounge spot here on the channel. First, yeah, let's jump out of the stream. So we are sitting green today. It's good to see. I'm going to share some of my thoughts on the market. Everyone pumping that NEO for Red Pulse. So NEO has done very well. There's news yesterday that Da Hong Fei, and I told you guys this. I believe I told you guys here on the channel, if not certainly to my group, that NEO and China, there were blockchain experts that gathered together and basically decided that they had wanted to crack down on some of the regulations in ICOs to make things more regulated, and that blockchain people approached the U.S. government and had agreed upon that decision. Da Hong Fei came out and said that he was one of those people that was in contact with China government and approached them, and that came out yesterday, I believe, early yesterday or maybe late the day prior to it. And in doing so, we saw a lot of price increase here for NEO. Red Pulse is launching, I believe it's October 10th. They had pushed back their ICO date from September to October in light of the Chinese regulations and news. So seeing a lot of action here out of NEO as well as gas. I want to talk a little bit about what I think about the market. So I have a chart here pulled up of Bitcoin, and we have the order book here. Let's go back to the chart and make this full screen. Let's go to the daily. So I'm still a little bit skeptical on the current market. And if we go down, let me go back to, let's say 4 hours so we can see a little bit more. We see a potential head and shoulder pattern here forming, indicating possible reversal. However, I don't think we're completely out of the woods yet. I said here on the channel yesterday that, and this is still my opinion personally, unless we cross about the $4,200 mark, which we're getting really close to, unless we can break that resistance, I still think that we are more likely to see 2,000 before we see 5,000. Now, I know that there's a lot of profit being taken here, and I'm just going to explain to you some of my thoughts. So there's a lot of resistance here in this $4,200 region. Specifically, I'm looking to break around 42, I think 42.30. You can see with right here with the candles here, right around, and I'll draw it in for you. Right around this region here, we have a lot of resistance. You can see all the past resistance here and all these candles touching it and bouncing off against it. I'll be curious to see if we bounce off of it or break through it. If we break through it, we are going to see some pretty good price action, and I might change my mind to back to bullish. I still think we're going to have trouble breaking through this $4,200 mark, and I still think we are going to continue in a bear trend. Let me pull up one of my, or before I do that, let me just draw for you guys some Fibonacci's showing you why I think 4,200 and 4,240 in particular is a really important place to watch. So if we draw some Fibonacci's here, I'm going to draw one from the last peak. You can see that region right there, that says 4,200 exactly. That is, so the Fibonacci's are basically levels, key levels of support and resistance to watch for. And we're going to draw another one on the way back down. So from about here to here, right about there. Let's bring that out a little. It's unfortunate that writing there on the line is a little hard to see, but that says 41.94. And what it's nice to see is when the Fibonacci levels line up with each other. So what when they line up old fibs to new fibs, they're even a bit. They're basically, what can I say? They basically hold more relevance than, say, this Fibonacci level right here, since these, you can see the two Fibonacci levels right here line up very well, and they line up here again very well. So these levels here have more resistance and support around them than these regions here. So this, again, this $4,200, you can see it, the two fibs here, is it basically has a Fibonacci level right at that $4,200 mark, really close to it. So I'm really looking for us to see if we break off of right around this 42, 42.30, 42.40, right around this $4,200 region before deciding whether we continue to be a bull or bear market. So a lot of you people are, I had actually sold, and I'll be completely honest, I sold some Bitcoin around the $4,000 mark when we peaked. I guess it was, right around here. I thought we would see some resistance and not go back down. I mean, not go back up. I was wrong. We did continue to break through that. But that's why I always suggest laddering. So no one is going to be able to predict bottoms or tops 100% full on, and that's one of the reasons why I suggest laddering. Now, I'm completely fine with, continuing an upward trend. It would be great to see that. I only sold a certain portion of my BTC in response, so I didn't go all in one direction or the other. I don't think that it's ever a good idea to think that you yourself can time the market 100% fully. So even if we continue upwards, that's all right. I still tend to think that there's a lot of news and a lot of FUD still. There's the hard fork coming up still in November. And what we saw last time, the hard fork in August, August 1st was right around here. We saw price declines in light of that news, August 1st, dating back to all the way back to the middle of June. So about a month and a half prior to that news, which is really close to the time that we saw the big decline here, September 11th, September 12th. That was about a month and a half prior to the November fork. So I will be curious to see if we continue this trend. I personally don't think that we will. I personally don't think we'll continue this bull trend. I personally still think that we will see 2,000 before we see 5,000. Now, if we cross that $4,200 mark, I may change my mind, and that's okay. And then, I could be wrong. But I just want to point out to you guys and show you guys some of the similarities from the fork before. And we have more FUD this time. Again, the Chinese have until October 30th to shut down their exchanges. So they've been extended some time. So we saw a little bit of breathing room. We saw the big price increase after that happened. But I don't think that's left anybody's minds, really. I think that it's kind of a short-term play here, and there's ability to make money off the swings here. But I still think until we cross the $4,200 mark, I'm still I am still personally bearish. I'm still personally bearish. We saw a recovery here. We saw a steep decline in the beginning. We increased a little bit back up here, and we didn't quite make it all the way back to that mark until after the hard fork, months later. So that's sort of where I stand. I'll be happy to be proven wrong. And I think, again, this $4,200 mark is something that everyone should be paying attention to. The Chinese have until the 30th of October to shut down their exchanges. So we'll see what happens. I also want to talk a little bit about, this was just an interesting article that I wanted everybody to keep in mind. So a lot of this stuff here is a long-term play. I'm more of a long-term investor myself. Vitalik Buterin here, the co-founder of Ethereum. This title is Explain Some of the Flaws in the ICO and Scaling Issues in Ethereum. Just a pretty good article, and he notes that a lot of the stuff that they're working on can take up to 2 to 5 years for Ethereum to really solve a lot of the scaling issues. They're aware of all the things. We have things like Plasma, Raiden Network being tested, Casper and Serenity and moving to proof of stake. A lot of this stuff is a really long-term play, and it's far off from being fully implemented, and it's a great thing to hold on to long-term. I'm much more of a long-term investor myself. A lot of these projects are extremely new and don't even have use cases practically for many of these things. Ethereum is well established, but even a lot of the ICOs that are launching off of it have not even done anything yet and don't really have products and functioning products essentially. So a lot of it is a long-term play, and I want you to keep that in mind. So those are some of my thoughts on the current market. Red Pulse is October 8th, I thought, Brian. I'm not sure. I thought it was. You could be right. I know it's coming up. Red Pulse ICO date. Let's see. I thought it was the 10th. Might be the 8th. Might even be the 4th for all I know. I don't know why I can't easily find it. I guess ICOs just aren't that big yet. Red Pulse crowd sale opening day. Okay, yeah, you're right. October 8th. So, in a couple of days, about a week or two. Today's the 27th, so about a little bit over a week and a half from today. So yes, Red Pulse is an ICO, one of the first launching off the Neo blockchain. And you will need to purchase Neo in order to, very similar to how Ethereum ICOs work. So in order to participate in the Red Pulse ICO, you'll have to purchase it via a Neo wallet that you have the private keys to, so not the exchanges. So you'll need to be familiar with using the Neon wallet or the client wallet that Neo has built, the GUI wallet. So that it will work very similarly to an ERC20 wallet where you own the private keys to it. I also want to talk about, I forgot to talk about Kyber. I have not checked out Music Coin. We'll take a quick look at Music Coin. Music Coin is only on a couple of exchanges with very low market cap. So I really don't like to talk or touch into coins with such low market cap. But I want to talk about Kyber and some of my thoughts on it. I think there's a lot of potential in Kyber. We did see a huge sell-off in Kyber from the ICO. So this is very well expected. I totally expected this. My personal thoughts were to wait until Kyber, wait until it settled down, wait until no one's talking about it to buy in. I do think it's a solid project, and I would love to learn more and more and more about it. And what I suggest is buying in, laddering, just like anything else. So when you see it real cheap and on a dip, maybe pick up a little bit today and keep following the project, keep tabs on it, and if it drops lower, buy some more. When no one's talking about it in 2 or 3 weeks, once all the exchanges that have added it kind of settle down. I know it's being added to Binance either yesterday, today, I forget when. Once it's added, let's take a look actually. Let's see if it's on Binance. So it is on Binance already. So once it's added to all these exchanges and the hype dies down and no one's talking about it, that's the time when you want to get in. So it's definitely a project that it needs work, and I definitely see it doing well over the next several months and years. I think decentralized exchanges are the future, especially since Vitalik is advising the project. It's something to just pick up, just like we see good projects like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I stress, accumulating them and keep picking them up as we get the dips. And you can look to do the same thing with a lot of these coins that have, a lot of potential, but you don't want to invest a whole lot of money in. So maybe you pick up a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, whatever's small to you. Maybe $20. Maybe you just put in a $20 bill into Kyber in hopes that one day it's a $100 coin. So pick up a little bit as you go. Don't go all in thinking that Kyber is going to blow up overnight, because that's not realistic expectations. I'm here to deliver. I really want to stress to you guys to get inside of good projects, and I know that over time that they will be successful, because I like to do a lot of my research. I like to read white papers and find good, solid products, and I'm fine waiting. And even if Kyber goes up to $5, I'd rather spend the time and do the research and know that I'm investing in something that's worth investing, instead of just hearing all the FOMO rather, all the FOMO and news about it, and jump on in without actually thinking, too much into it. And something that is very similar. So I know EOS promises a lot of things, and in my opinion, it's like a pipe dream. It's really far away. Their ICO is a year long. Right now, it's a great price to pick up a little bit. It's really, really low. No one's talking about it. It's all a little bit of price action here overnight. But it's one of those things that I actually am looking to pick up, just pick up a couple $100, $1,000, just see where it goes, nothing major. See what happens, see in a couple years or a couple of months after the project has more time. And if it does turn out to be something good and it goes up to $2, pick up some more if you see it trending upwards. Take the time to understand these projects. You can't afford to go all in. Same thing with Walton Coin right now. A lot of people talking about Walton Coin, and I had a project, or I recorded a video all about Walton that I want to share with you guys. I decided it was more important to talk about the markets today, but I'll be releasing a video on Walton soon and my thoughts on it. But it's the very same thing. If we take a look, it's fresh. It's what everyone's talking about. Just just well, we saw a huge increase in price overnight. Actually, we're already up to $4. But wait until no one's talking about it. Wait until the hype dies down. Nothing that's parabolic is sustainable. It all comes back down, and that's one of the reasons why I actually am not quite bearish or bullish on Bitcoin. We saw such steep increases. We went from 1850 all the way up to $5,000. We've more than doubled it in just about 6 weeks. I really think we need to consolidate here for a little, and I think this is the beginning of some consolidation for the next several weeks. And I don't think we just zoom right back up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 and keep shooting for the moon. I think it needs to be a little bit more steady and organic. I think that it's not there's too much going on. The banks suppressing it, the Chinese suppressing it, the hard fork suppressing prices, and I think we're going to continue to consolidate. And like I said, we'll pay close attention to this level here and see if we can break through that. Also, I wanted to show you guys just a visual representation of that here in the order book. So you can see that if we break in this region, this $4,200 region, there's not a whole lot beyond it as far as, major sell walls go. We go up pretty quickly once we break through this area here, a bunch of little walls here and there. But to break 4250, we need about 600 BTC, which is a hefty amount. That's a hefty amount. Then we kind of move on pretty quickly. Again, sell walls and buy walls. This is kind of a visual indicator to how the markets can move. So just to give you an idea, right here at the $4,200 mark, it takes 212 BTC to break this wall right here. And we quickly rise in price all the way up to, over here where we see the next little wall. So there's not much stopping Bitcoin from going from 42 to 4206. I mean, that's a small example, but similar process here. There's not a whole lot of wall here to break these prices. So I think we will rise pretty quickly if we break 4,200. You can see there's not a whole lot of support or resistance. We kind of flew all the way back up after we break a lot of this resistance here in the $4,200 to $4,300 region. There isn't much resistance until the $4,500, $4,600 region. And then again, if we break that, there isn't much resistance until the all-time highs at 5,000. So that's kind of how I look at things from a technical standpoint. Michael Ellis, yes, we're getting close. We're definitely getting close to that mark, and it'll be something to pay close attention to. We can also pull up just a couple of other indicators to give us an idea. So I like to use the MACD, and on the 4 hours, we are still trending upward. That's a good sign. Let's go out to 6 hours. We are trending up. That's also good. On the 1 day, we also crossed, so that's also looking good. So a lot of things look good on the MACD. Let's pull up the RSI as well as the stochastic RSI. I like to use both. So on the 1 day, RSI is indicating that we are a bit overbought. The normal RSI is sort of in the middle, trending kind of upwards. So that's a good sign. But on here, we are overbought on the 1 day. If we go down to 6 hours, we are also overbought. We are overbought on the normal RSI. If we zoom in even further to the 1 hour, we are overbought in both scenarios. So RSI indicating that we might see a pullback here. Something else you can also look at is just nice to take a look at is the volume, the OBV. So the volume has definitely dropped off a lot, and something that I pointed out to you guys the past several days, especially, which is interesting. Volume is always a good indicator to look at when purchasing into any coin, because if there's not volume and liquidity and demand behind all of this, there's no way that your price is going to increase that much. So there isn't a whole lot of volume. We have picked up a little bit here over the past since this low here, but we've actually seen some of the lowest volume in recent memory in quite some time. What else do I like to look at? Let me load up my normal chart that I like to use with all my indicators on it. So wave trends are another pattern that you can help you to look at. Wave trend also looks good here on the daily. So some pieces of the information here are good. Some of it is bad. It depends how you look at it. And everyone has their own opinions. The moving averages are also something that I like to look at, and I forgot to bring that up. So we can take a look here, and The moving averages here. I have three moving averages here listed: the 77, the 21, and the 7. The purple has not crossed the red or the brown. I should change this color. I really don't like brown. Let's get rid of that. Let's make that green so it stands out a little bit more. And let's make purple yellow so that also stands out a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see if from a long-term perspective, if we cross. So the longer moving average, 77, is really slow moving. It's a 77 period moving average. So depending upon what kind of candles you have, this changes. So if we take a quicker, a bigger look in on the 4-hour chart, you can see a lot of times when the yellow crosses the red and the green are good times to buy and sell. So like right here is a good time to sell. Right here is a good time to buy. Right here is a good time to sell, and right now is a good time to buy. So before making any decisions on whether to buy, like I said, it'll be nice to see if we break through this $4,300 resistance, and that's why we ladder, because we're never right. So even though I sold a little bit at 4,000, I didn't sell all of it, and if I'm wrong, I'm all right missing some profits. Yeah, we went up from 4,000 to 4,200. I missed a little bit of profit there, but I'd rather be safe and know, at this resistance level here, whether or not, we're going to continue the bullish pattern up or break back down, which I'm kind of leaning towards. So it's just nice to see, or it's nice to be safe in that fashion. Any free alternatives for TradingView? TradingView, I believe, is free. TradingView is free. There's a paid version of it, but it is free. Ozgon. 10x still a serious play, was on then, just off. Probably should have held it. So when do you think 10x will hit $5 again? So that's quite difficult to say. So if you like a project and you're in it for the long term, don't be too concerned with when is it going to hit $5? When is it going to hit $10? If you know that it's a solid investment, stick with it. For example, QTOM. QTOM's done very well over the past several days. QTOM is something that I've researched pretty heavily and really like, and I've talked about it a lot, especially in the Moon Lounge, and I'm certain that some people may have jumped off board, especially all these this downfall right here. It's something that I've been holding on to. It's something that I've done extensive research on, and when people are in fear, when people are down here, this is when I buy. This is when I buy. And it's a project that I've been a huge fan of long term. If you take a look at anything, I remember back in the day, I was invested into Ethereum. I bought it at like $6-7, and I held on to it. Let's take a look. The 5-year chart. Let's take a look at the 5-year chart. That's a little bit too much. Let's take a look at the 1 year. Why can't I go back in time? What does this button do? Hide drawings, 1 year. Why can I not go back further? Maybe I do need to go to the 5-year and zoom in. 1 month. All right. Let's do 3 months and then go back in time. Looks like it needs time to draw these charts. That's weird. How do I go back? I should be able to see more of this chart here. What I wanted to show you guys is that I had held on to Ethereum way back in the day before anything happened, and we saw dips and peaks and valleys, and it was a project that I had done a ton of research on and fully believed in. I don't know why I can't see the rest of this chart. This is annoying. Ethereum history chart. Let's just take a look at some other chart. I don't know why I can't go back in time. I don't want to bore you guys here on air. I'll figure out why I can't go back in time later. 6 months, a year. This isn't. Let's zoom in further. Take a look at here. Where did I originally buy? What date is this? This is January of 2017. I want to go back even further in time. Let's go to all. I invested sometime back in this region here. So if I zoom this in, it looked actually a lot better before I zoomed in. So you can see, this was like the quiet before the storm. I was in Ethereum all the way back here. And, I held on to it, held on to it, held on to it. It wasn't until here that I bared some of that fruit, It takes a long time. So my point is, if you're into a project, don't be concerned. When is it going to hit $5? When is it going to hit $10? When is it going to hit $30? If you believe in it, you've done your research, just patiently wait and know that you did your due diligence. Lisk rebranding soon, thoughts? Yeah, I think a lot of that was priced in back in August when that news popped. But the chart does look really healthy. Let's pull up Lisk. LSK BTC on the 1 day. Let's go back to right now and let's load up some of the other indicators that I like to use. I'll just load my preloaded chart and go back to Lisk. So Lisk is looking pretty healthy. We do see the MACD trending downwards, but still the price volume, or the price, not the price volume, but the price rather, is pretty consistent. And we see a little bit kind of like an upward ascending a wedge here, which is always a good sign. This is sort of a bullish pattern right here. It's a little bit far out, and it has some time to work. Let me just make this full screen. It has some time to work, but continue to watch if it sort of stays in this region. This is like a bullish flag pattern here that it's forming, which looks very well. This is the daily. I should move this down a little bit more. So higher and higher lows and a lot of resistance here at this 0.0017 mark. So that'll be interesting to watch. I mined half in March 2016 and hodled. Zcash up because of Ethereum strength. Why is Zcash going up so much right now? Not sure. So maybe because of Ethereum doing well. Ethereum uses the same kind of security privacy features that Zcoin uses. ZK Snarks, so they kind of stole that from them. Personally, my favorite security token is definitely Monero, but Zcash perhaps doing well because of that. We can take a look at it. Zcash. I don't know what the ticker is for Zcash. So let me take a look on CoinMarketCap. Zcash is ZEC. So yeah, huge volume in the past couple of days, and especially today. A lot of these things still trend the way Bitcoin does. And this is interesting. This is a very similar chart to Ethereum. If you look at Ethereum's chart, you'll see and this could be the beginning of a head and shoulder. This is the perfect head and shoulder. Take a look at this chart. If I remembered how to overlay, compare or add symbol. Let me add symbol, Ethereum BTC. Can I do that? BTC. Ethereum BTC. Let's add it from, we'll just add it from Bittrex. So here's Ethereum's chart paired right against Zcash. Very, very similar chart, following very similar patterns. And we can even add BTC to show you that there are actually a lot of differences. Compare or add symbol. Let's add BTC/USD. Let's add it from Gemini. Gemini has got a lot of volume on it. So Bitcoin doing its own sort of thing. We need to change the colors here because this is not going to help at all. Fill. Let's make this red, and we'll make the line yellow. Oh no, we'll just make the line red too. Why not? So you can see Bitcoin is in red, Ethereum is in blue, and Zcash is the one that's charted with all the candles. So you can see Zcash follows a very similar pattern to Ethereum, and not so much Bitcoin. So could be some of the reason, just speculating here. I just wanted to show you guys that I knew Zcash followed Ethereum's chart a lot. Got late here really fast. What are your thoughts on Kyber? We're seeing on investing a bit there. Good project. Don't invest all at once. Take a look. Try to rewind this video if you can. You say why Neo gas was briefly more than Neo itself. Love Neo, but didn't understand why gas could go up so much. So it's all, again, supply and demand. That's all this really is. Neo gas, in my opinion, should never be as high as Neo. Gas is simply used to send transactions on the Neo network. It is something that was never really intended to be traded initially by Da Hongfei, who said that. But because it can be traded, it is. I don't expect it to ever really be as high as Neo. I think some people are misinformed about how the structure between gas and NEO actually works. It's not something that I would suggest holding on to long term. It's great to have that dividend as NEO and gas continue to increase, but it's not something that I would look to like hold as a vehicle for investing. It's just a dividend. So I look to actually sell when the ratio between NEO and NEO gas is good. I look to sell. So I'll chart them for you guys. We'll pair NEO BTC. And I got to delete all these. So let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. So this is NEO right here. And we will add to the chart gas. And gas to Bitcoin. And I guess that's the chart down there. Is that it right there? Yeah, so that stinks. That's a shitty chart. That is one hell of a shitty chart. I was hoping that it would look a lot better. Let me zoom in. 4 hours. There's also not a lot of history. I don't know why. Gas is on more than one exchange, right? Oh, they don't have Binance. So that's why. That's unfortunate. So they don't have Binance here in Coinigy added yet. Because there's a lot more history to gas than there is on Poloniex. Poloniex just recently added gas. Anyway, anytime that the ratio between gas and NEO looks good is when I'd look to sell some gas and earn more or buy more NEO with it, buy another altcoin with it, and look to earn more dividends from your NEO. Do you think that the funding will become less effective in the future, or will there always be these many investors with weak hands? I think there will always be FUD in one direction or another. Cryptocurrency is extremely controversial, and I don't think that is going to end until we are fully mainstream, and I don't think that's going to happen for several years, 5-10 years. So I think there will always be times where people have weak hands, and that's when I want to I did set it to invisible. It's visible right now, but it's off. But what I want to stress to you guys is that this scene isn't going away. It's totally decentralized. The government can't control it. They'll try to control parts and aspects of it, such as taxation and regulations, which I think is a good thing in showing that it's going mainstream. But they won't be able to ban it completely. And whether China wants to participate or not, it's not going away. So I think there will always be FUD as this space continues to grow, but it's something that I will be in for the long haul. How to start into cryptocurrency investment, brother Arvind. I have a course over on Udemy, which is one of the best places to start if you're investing in cryptocurrency. $10, everything you need to know. The course link, description, whatever you want to call it. There's a link to it right there. I also want to give away, so we have spots for the Moon Lounge open. We have about, 5-6 seats left open for October. Yesterday I said I'd be giving one free seat away to someone who commented on my video. So let's take a look at that so we can give you guys or give someone that opportunity. So we have 58 comments. What I'm going to do is just use a random number generator to select someone. Random number generator. Between 1 and, 58. 58. So lucky number 18. So let's go down the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I actually learned some German. Let's see if I can remember it. Zwei. Oh shit! I already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I forget 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Bangla Steve. So Bangla Steve, he's actually been a long time contributor here of the channel. So great to see him. Hey Steve, you want a seat in the Moon Lounge next month? Email me at cryptosomniac@gmail.com and let me fix that. If you guys have any questions on what the Moon Lounge actually is, email me at cryptosomniac@gmail.com. Any questions on what it is, feel free to email me. It's basically our trading group. Sen, great counting. Sen. I always forget how to pronounce 10. But we will, again, the Moon Lounge is sort of our trading group where we give several signals a week, several phone calls a month, a lot of great information, reports, researchers, a whole lot of information for you guys. So there's a couple days left to sign up for that. What else? Do you think Neo is still a good buy at 30 plus? Sorry for all the questions. Appreciate you, brother. No worries. That's what I'm here for. I love doing these live streams. So I do think let's take a look at Neo. Let's take a look at Neo. And it depends for the long term. So I'm more of a long-term investor. I sold a little bit of Neo back at like 50 bucks. I haven't sold anything in quite a while for Neo because I'm more of a long-term investor. I like to stake my Neo. And I just look to sell the gas when it's high and acquire more Neo, or just acquire some new altcoins that I just like to take a risk on, you know. I kind of see the gas as a little bit like free money, and I say, what the hell, I buy a couple of coins with my gas every so often when the price correlation is good. But let's pull up, we're already on Neo. So a lot of stuff for Neo looks pretty good from a long-term perspective. Let me pull out my chart that is ready, locked, and loaded here. Neo BTC. This is the daily chart, so I like to look at it from more of a long-term perspective. MACD is crossing. RSI is trending upward. RSI, stochastic RSI, also a little bit high right now. A little bit high. Last time you can see we sustained that stochastic RSI for a period of about a week or so before it came back down. Only been about 2 days thus far. Just something to keep in mind, but the stochastic looks really good. The what do you call this right here? The purple is crossing here. Can't get my words out. The moving averages. Moving averages looks really good. Looks like we're about to open up if we talk or look about Neo from a long-term perspective. If we dive in deeper, a little bit harder to see, a little bit harder or trickier to call. So the RSI is trending downward. The stochastic RSI indicates that we're oversold. MACD is crossing, doesn't look too great. In fact, where did my wave trend go? I usually like to have my wave trend up. I must have closed my wave trend for, or in lieu of something else. Let's add the wave trend. Is that the, yeah. So wave trend is indicating on the daily, also a good sign. We're heading back up. When these cross are kind of times when you want to look to buy and sell, but we are trending upwards. So that looks good there. Investing in Neo makes sense as they are essentially shares. That's exactly how a lot of I see the cryptocurrency space. RSI, question, Canadian. So RSI is an indicator of how overbought or oversold something is. It's an indicator from 0 to 100, and normally, and you can set these limits here depending upon your preferences. So I have a at 75.30. You can set them even more conservatively at 80 and say 20. And all that does is it changes this purple band, this purple region. So anytime you're above the purple or below the purple indicates points of when you're overbought or oversold. So if you look back here, you could see that we were pretty overbought back in this peak around June 12th. And we were oversold, I guess you could say, you know, in this date here and this date here. But it's a little bit, that's a really conservative way to do it. I like to bring it out a little bit more to 70-30, and you can see a little bit more that you can actually see here. This was, you know, oversold by the definition. There we dropped below the 30. So RSI is just an indicator of that. Any thoughts why the sudden rise in Neo Korea Dahongfei's government meeting? I think it's a couple of things. I think Red Pulse. I think it's Dahongfei's statement. I did say, I shared on here earlier, I thought that Neo, and I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that blockchain experts got together and decided that they wanted these ICO sanctions and regulations, and they approached the government. Dahongfei came out and said that he was in fact one of those people. So that's part of the reason. I think we saw, if we just take a look at the chart on the daily, I'm an Ethereum. I don't want to be an Ethereum. Neo. We were suppressed a lot. You can see the, like I said, the purple is crossing. Looks like we could be opening back up. We've been suppressed for quite some time. As an Aussie, just learned that my government is planning to use Neo. Australian government went over last week. That's awesome, Blockchain Brad. That's great. I also want 10 plus indicators on my chart. If you ever need any assistance with technical analysis or just portfolio management, I do take one-on-one appointments as well. You can get a link to that in the banner of my YouTube profile. I offer money back guarantee. If you don't think it's helpful or satisfactory, just tell me. I haven't had anyone ask for money back yet, but I have no problem reimbursing someone if, if I wasn't able to help you. So I think that's going to wrap it up here for today, guys. Share this video once it's on Facebook and Twitter for a chance to win some free cryptocurrency tomorrow. Also, join the Facebook group. We'll be having a couple of other competitions to give away some free memberships to the Moon Lounge next month. So if you're interested, head over there and stay tuned. So, and there's just a ton of great information here. Over 9,000 members almost, and counting. A lot of great information. You guys do a great job at keeping me up to date, and feel free to comment. I love to see your guys' feedback, and I love to make videos on the things that you are interested in. Like I said, I have a Walton video coming. I thought it was better to talk about, like I said, I thought it was better to talk today about the market and the steep increase, and just my take on the market, and how I'm not extremely bullish yet. It'll be really close to give. Karthik, we gave away a free spot to the Moon Lounge earlier here on the video. So that's going to wrap it up here for today. So thanks all for tuning in. And remember, stay a crypto somniac, because the rich never sleep.